James?
So, you know how we always talk about there not being pictures on the scorecard, Jimmy? Have you ever heard that expression?
I have heard that. I've heard that
Do you know where
expression.
it comes from?
It comes from the experience that we just have, that we just have had over the last 3 hours.
It's
Um,
still going. I'm not sure if this is even going to work,
it,
so
it
we'll
looks
see.
it looks calm right
It looks
now.
fine.
Yeah, it
Look,
looks peaceful.
flustered? No,
No, not at all.
no.
In the meantime, for under 3 hours, we'll say somebody had been on the floor with cords going back and forth. Somebody walked around the convention center trying to find a building. Another friend of ours, team member, Caleb Young, got on a scooter and rode to Best Buy.
Sorry, HR.
Everything was good. Everything was good. He was riding very safely on the scooter, right? So
So,
it looks so calm now.
and
Now we're
everything's
back up and
fine. Look, the
running.
white cloth, tablecloth, the little dainty little glass
I
of
have mine.
water.
I always have mine.
This should tell you about how today has went so far, but we are blessed. We kid, but we are live here at SGA Spring Gas in Charlotte.
We are
And there are no pictures on the
There
scorecard,
are
my
not.
friend.
There are 800 people in attendance of this
That's what
event,
I
and we
heard.
couldn't be
We
happier to have
confirmed it.
this be our 2023 kickoff live event.
Kickoff, man. We did this a lot last year,
Oh, we
but
did.
this year is different. We are bringing the show on the road, and as you notice behind us already, it's quiet right now. Be quiet. Everyone is in sessions just here and
Doom,
here,
doom, doom, doom,
and you'll
doom.
see them pour out of here and kind of walk behind us. So this is where we're going to be set up. We're not in the exhibit hall. We're right in the thick of it, right in the middle of the action, and we are thankful for the SGA for allowing us to be here. Jimmy, right over your shoulder here is actually a natural gas champions
Ah,
class that's going on right now, and you know how close that is to my heart.
you took the
I
class,
did.
didn't you?
I am certified,
Yeah.
and I think it's great. And uh, that's actually where we're going to kind of focus these little segments from Spring Gas on is really around the idea of being a natural gas champion. What does it mean? What can you do? So we're going to try to ask folks and wrap it up. You know, we always ask one question while we're out. That's what we're going to try to do with these
I think it's going
folks.
to be a great question. I think it's going to really invoke a lot of thought. One, because I think when you put people, when you ask that to them, they may think, well, I'm in the industry and I do all this with natural gas.
Oh,
But
yeah.
when you really think about it, what does that mean to you and what is that moment? And, I was actually thinking about it right now for the last 30 seconds, back to my LNG and CNG days, on the days when I could bring in LNG tankers and feed 6,000 homes in the wintertime so they would have heat because there might have been an issue with the pipeline serving that area. That means to me that families are safe and people are taken care of. Safe, reliable natural gas. I mean,
Absolutely.
believer.
So the cool thing about the Natural Gas Champions course, if you're not familiar with it, is really that they teach you to do an elevator pitch.
Hmm.
So, and what I mean is it's really custom to you. So you kind of build it to what you're comfortable with. So if, your background isn't for natural gas, maybe you start, so I wrote one that's in the book if you've seen it. But I say I wasn't in this industry. So like you, I may have some questions about it, right? So it's an easy way to kind of use the things in your personal experience in your past to craft your own message that tells your story that you feel comfortable telling, right?
Makes
It
sense.
doesn't always have to be safe, reliable,
No, no, no.
affordable, right?
Right,
But
right, right.
it may be like for mine was I see all the jobs it creates. I see the families it keeps safe and
Yeah.
the uh, anniversary dinners that are made on propane and the warm baths after a long day of work. Like those types of things to me are the story that I pull on. So we're trying to make advocates this season, and so that's part of what we'll be doing here at
I think
SGA.
it'll be fun because we're going to get a whole host of answers. We're going to get everybody from vendors, contractors, operators, regulators, the whole bit. So it'll be fun.
Well,
That'll be
if
a
you
good
would have
thing.
saw earlier, there were people pouring out of here when I didn't hit record. You're welcome. So now it's quieting down, but we will be here
Allegedly,
all week.
allegedly did not hit record.
Yeah, there's no pictures on the scorecard,
No.
but we can tell you all about it.
And we have fun with it.
Yeah, so the exhibit hall's downstairs.
Yep.
We're going to try some new stuff here. Don't know if it'll translate, don't know what we'll come up with, but we're going to hopefully kind of take the show on the road, meaning leave this space and go downstairs and visit some of the vendors. But
Could it include a gimbal?
yeah, maybe we'll try some things.
I
Maybe
just tr-
TikTok it.
I just tried a gimbal for the first time myself today, and I was blown away. I can't wait to experiment with things here. That'll
Yeah,
be
it should be
great.
cool.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. Lots of great sessions. There's a gas 101. There's 3 different tracks going on. Like
Yeah.
I said, Natural Gas Champions goes on once or twice while we're here. And any of y'all that are used to the industry know those are expensive courses. So if you're here, you should be getting in on them.
I agree. And again, if you walk away with one thing out of that and it helps you and helps the industry, it's all worth it. It makes
Absolutely.
everything
Well,
everything
hopefully
good.
when you see us next time, I'll have some coffee.
I hope you do too.
And I would have not spent the last 2 hours rolling around on the floor. But nevertheless, we're excited to bring this event back to you. Those that couldn't make it,
Yes.
that's a big part of what we do. So if you know of anybody that you want to say hi to or anything you want us to bring back, just say the word. All right. Well, Jimmy,
All
it's
right,
good to be
brother.
in person. Hey, this
Absolutely.
is where we won the award.
Yes,
Right
Charlotte.
here in Charlotte.
2021, the Corporate Communications Award at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. We were
How
on
fitting
stage.
to be back here.
It's actually my LinkedIn picture now. So if you're interested, check out my profile, and that is when we got the award.
Yeah, it's
Is
good
that
to be
award
back.
still in good shape? Is it in a
We'll have to talk about that on another episode, but I may have dropped it on accident.
allegedly?
SGA, if you're looking to replace an award, I know a guy. It's still mostly all together.
Mostly.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
hey everybody, we appreciate you. We'll be back.
Take care.
To SGA. So we did, full disclosure, we didn't get a lot done yesterday in terms of the show because of our technical difficulties. We didn't have a big plan yesterday to bring a lot back from yesterday, really just to get it started. And so that's really what we did. And here we are on day 2 now.
Yeah.
And we get a full day out of it. We've already been recording in the hall. But let's talk about yesterday, day 1. Takeaways?
Takeaway one, a few things. Really, last night was my happy place. Thank you, James. I appreciate you doing
Yes,
that.
sir.
Was my happy place. We had a great networking event here at the convention center, and I have to tell you, it was robust. There was a ton of folks there. I was nonstop busy for 2.5 hours. I barely
Yeah.
saw you.
Yeah, we worked the floor quite a bit.
Yep.
And then we were invited after that reception by our good friend Nick Perro from Arterra.
Yes.
Versiv had supported, sponsored an event along with plenty of others at, was it Ink and Ivy? Is that what it was called?
Yes, it
Ivy
was
and Ink and Ivy?
Ink and Ivy. It was
Here
a
in Charlotte,
really
of course.
neat place, just about
cool.
5 or 6 blocks away. And that was actually, they were sponsoring for the Carolinas Natural Gas Coalition.
Right.
And we have a lot of friends there.
Yeah,
and,
we just talked to Chip, who's on the board there, is what I heard.
Yeah.
I believe he was telling me last night. So we may be getting involved there a little bit more.
I
We
think
had
we
some
are.
good friends reach out to us and ask, our thoughts on it. So we're looking at that. So
Yeah.
good event though.
Oh, very good event.
Went on pretty late. Oh, not late. Late for this old man.
Well, yeah.
9 is late.
Yeah, we stayed, I think it was 9:15, 9:20 when we
It was
actually.
not very, very reasonable time, but good event. Got to see so many people there. Again, just continue on that networking, relationship building from
Knowledge
really the
sharing.
carryover from the first reception we had. So day 1, honestly, getting this set up, getting ready for really the 2 big days that are left. We've got some of our colleagues in sessions right now, becoming natural gas champions, doing Gas 101.
Yep.
All kinds of great content.
Yeah, they just got, some folks just got out of a disaster recovery type of class,
It's
which
going
is.
right there. You can see it. Yep.
Yeah,
Natural disasters.
which is very important when we talk about mutual aid. We
Mutual
talk
aid,
talk about that is so important in our industry. And if people, for those that aren't in the industry, the mutual aid is where just that. When there's a natural disaster, it could be a hurricane in Florida, utilities crews from Alabama, Florida, the Carolinas, Georgia, I mean, all over come down, and it's needed, wanted, and it really helps us
That's
all.
a good
So
point. It being the Southern Gas Association, obviously, we're the ones impacted the most. You especially, but by the hurricanes, and a lot of that mutual aid comes into play. So great session, just one of many. We've got to sit down with SGA folks. I got to spend time with Cindy last night. We saw Suzanne.
Yep.
Amber Oding, who am I missing? Katie's been amazing helping us out.
Susan
Who am I missing?
Joyner.
Susan Joyner's
Yep.
been checking in on us in the hall. So we've got a full day. I think tonight the cornhole tournament?
Yeah, tonight is the cornhole tournament.
Which
yes.
is kind of a thing here at SGA.
Oh, it's a staple. People love it. They've already been
Definitely did it.
practicing.
So
I've
we're
seen
debating
people.
whether we're going to join in the fun or, do our jobs.
Or
Can't
both.
decide.
Or
I think we'll
both.
probably do both.
Yeah.
So, Jimmy, let's talk a little bit about today because we tried some new stuff that we're excited about. Something that, honestly, some of our folks don't know anything about, and we won't go super into it, but you and I had some conversations at the first of the year about some challenges within our industry.
Absolutely.
And also, we were very honest with ourselves about the show.
Yep.
And, where were we taking the show in the future and what were we going to do with it? And so, in a conversation, we kind of had this epiphany of what if we help solve some of those same issues that we're dealing with as an industry? And the main one being putting people into jobs.
And bringing them into
And
the industry.
bringing new blood into our industry.
And let them know about the pathway.
Speak of the devil. Look
Yeah.
at that. She showed up. We just talked about you, Amber.
Was it good?
Yeah,
It was great.
we just
Say
had
hi to
a
the
good time
audience.
with you.
Hello, audience. Welcome
to the show.
Charlotte.
See?
We're going to have you on officially in a bit, but we were just saying how what we're trying to do is bring new blood into our industry, create champions, and that's specific to this event. We're going to focus on that with each interview that we do.
Bring them into the utility
Let's do
family,
it.
the natural gas family, the whole industry
Big
family.
family. She
Sounds
knows-
like a champion right here.
I know. So we're going to talk about that more.
Awesome.
You'll come back?
I'm coming back.
All right.
That
Thanks,
sounds like
Amber.
a threat.
Well, let's dive a little bit. That was fun, and that's just
Absolutely.
what we do here. And if we don't talk to at least 50 people an hour, I would be surprised, right?
That's for sure.
Am I-
That's for sure.
But
so back to the
yeah,
problem,
back
right?
to the problem is, some people, want to enter the industry, they don't know how. So we organically, as strange as it sounds, people have said, "Hey, can we pay you money to come on Coffee Jim and James?" And we're not about that.
No.
But then we were, strategized. We were like, well, what happens if somebody gave us some money, and then we use that money in a Coffee Jim and James scholarship fund to help somebody go to a trade school, to help somebody get some
What if
education,
we were a part of moving the needle in that bigger conversation?
which is exciting.
Yeah, so that's what we're kind of trying this. It's our pilot, right? Our pilot. And so we spent the morning visiting with a few groups, which I'm proud to say, Miller Pipeline and SEC,
Yep.
Southeast Connection.
Part of the Artera family. Yep.
Yeah, longtime clients of ours, and we started with our friends and said, hey, we have this idea, would y'all be interested? And Laura Moreau, thank you so much. She's always a champion of ours in helping out, and she said absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we teed it up, and we just got finished recording that. And we tried something a little bit different, not really in the script, but we brought the gimbal, and over the last day or so, I've been getting familiar with it. Ashley did it for us, if you remember, at AGA. So I've been running around like a kid trying to figure out how to use this.
I love
thing.
it. I love I love the shots that you get, the ability to go in and out and get things up close, out, and go really fast. It's
Absolutely.
things that we can't really get from a stationary. As much as I do love the stationary time, it's very comfortable.
sure. It's
That one
different.
is on the go.
This
It's almost
is
like we're
different.
actually doing it. It's like what we do in the halls
Sure,
and right
and
here.
that's what we've been attempting to bring back.
Yeah.
Is those moments. And so this morning, just on a whim, just trying it out, we tried an interview in the hall with the gimbal, with Jim on the other side and me on this side of the
Because
the
he's
other
a
side of the
technical.
camera.
He's
so
very
I'm
good.
running it,
Yep.
and we actually really liked it. We liked how it looked. We liked how it translated. We were worried about me getting lost behind the camera, but honestly, I think that worked out. And so then we translated that into the spots we did for the scholarship. And so we tried it with Chip and Brett and this morning. And so we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully it's great. Sorry if it's not.
Oh no! Look,
But
I think it's going to be
the end
fantastic.
result is right now, just in pilot day one, that we have $750 in the kitty at the end of the day that we know is going to go to a scholarship. And this is just a start to
Yes.
put people in our industry. So we're excited about that.
Yeah.
It gives us a little bit more direction too for the show. We want to put people in jobs. We want to make a difference for this industry, and this is one way that we feel we can do it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it can be so needed. And I think once that comes to fruition and we see the fruits of the labor, we've actually talked about the idea of the recipient of the scholarship money, if it helps he or she get into the industry, and then, God willing, we're doing this, in a year or
from
two,
now.
to follow up with them and
Bring
actually
them
go
back.
on job site and see what they're doing, and maybe to get some video of them actually doing what they got trained for and into our industry. It'd be
and
really
so,
exciting.
So our eyes are kind of wide open to this idea while we're out traveling the
Yeah.
world
Yeah.
for our real jobs. Are there opportunities out there? I don't want to say low-hanging fruit because it's important stuff. But while we're out, could we end up on your job site and record with some of your folks talking about the jobs that you need to fill? And could we charge you for that and put it towards a scholarship? I know that sounds bad.
We don't
but
charge. We accept donations.
absolutely.
We accept donations.
And whatever you're comfortable with, right? So we can talk about that. But yeah, let's see how it turns out. I'm anxious to see how it translates.
I think it'll be fun. I think, and again, just to be very clear, any monies that we receive, that will go to a recipient that is in need of. There's a lot of people in financial hardship right now that want to go to school, want to go to trade school, but they can't. They may have family. They may not be able to, just get over that little bit of hump to, spend the 6 to 12 weeks in a school environment, and we want to help with that.
So but it's going to be neat to be a part of that initiative to
Yes,
try to get people in our
absolutely.
industry. And, it kind of ties in really well, I think, to what we're asking folks here at this conference, which is how can you be a natural gas champion?
Yeah.
Well, what are some ways? What are some tips? What are ways you are, right? And you talked yesterday about, for you, being a part of the sanity behind having a choice in your energy, right?
Yep.
I want a furnace up north, or I
Yeah.
like solar where I'm at, or
Because
I like
might
wind.
you might be in the
West
desert.
Texas,
Yeah,
right?
West Texas. Yeah.
Like those choices for me. So I'll answer this question today.
Please.
How about that? So for me, I want to use the skills that I have, right? So for me, it's things like this, right? Things like the podcast.
Yep.
And joke about it yesterday. We're rolling around the floor and setting this up so that we can bring these messages back. And bring the messages back of the Amber Odings and bring the messages back of the Chips and the Bretts and everybody in between that we bring on at the show is what I can give to this industry. And I can put those voices loud and proud out there. And that's what I can do.
And you do it well.
And it's about what we can do, right? That's where I think there's some room for improvement for all of us. We're not asking you to go out and be the spokesperson every day. Some people aren't wired that way. But you have skills, you have abilities, and you have knowledge that you can bring to this battle, right, of energy, right? And so how can you help? That's really the question. So we'll see what people say today. We're excited to get started, get some people on. We haven't had a soul on yet.
Oh, but we've had at least, I'm going to
10,000
say,
people ask
about it. So it's going to be a busy day. The whole day will
It's
be.
going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Today's going to be all day. We're going to bring folks back. And then who knows, maybe a cornhole reception. We go on the road again.
Maybe a little gimbal.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm up for it.
All right. Hey, we'll be right back.
We were just talking about our friends from the north. Some of us used to live up in Wisconsin and Minnesota. You chewing right now?
I do. I forgot we were doing a podcast.
And then that went on to our friends from Southern Cross. We were talking about our good buddy Tim Jackson. Shout out Tim. So
Yeah.
you have to say hi to him.
Cowboy Tim,
Cowboy Tim.
we see you. So we are live at SGA. Let's do some intros because I don't think everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, we need to.
Let's start there.
Great. I'm Jordan. I'm the marketing manager with Sparus, Southern Cross.
Shout out to marketing.
Carly and Justin.
Oh, wow. Specific shout out.
Pro move.
Yeah.
Now, this is the first time meeting Jordan. We haven't, but John we've known from years now.
Seeing you guys all
Best
over at
friends.
these industry conferences. It's exciting for me to be on finally.
Yeah.
I'm John Scheller. I'm a senior regional project manager. We do leak survey on the eastern part of the country. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, that's
There it is.
inclusive.
Shout out
I like
to
that.
everybody.
Trump in you.
Yeah.
So,
You went
full
big there.
disclosure, they put Cracker Jacks out as the snack. So that's cool.
That is
So I'm not reaching into my coffee cup.
It looks like you are.
It's Cracker Jack. So first SGA, 70 SGAs, how many?
Probably 15.
Yeah, we come pretty regularly. I live in North Carolina, so these ones in Charlotte I can make.
Right, and you're out of Georgia,
Yep.
so they're close
Yep.
by. And in the marketing world, you want to see what the trade show is like and the
That's
setup
right.
and all that. I'm
Yep.
sure very particular about that.
Oh, yes.
Takeaways from this, now that we're back at full swing, I think we have 800 participants this year,
What I heard.
which is great. Takeaways, what have you seen? What's
Have
been
y'all
your
caught
high
any
points?
sessions, or y'all just been in the hall? How's it? A little bit. Anything?
We've just been hanging out in the hall so far, but a key takeaway from there is to have Girl Scout cookies at your booth. That is the way to
Where is
draw
it?
people
We-
in.
You have them?
Yes.
We have them.
Y'all want some?
Man, no, that's all I need. Look
We
at that.
we
It's got it
already
proof.
have some of those.
Already.
Tag-alongs
Tag-alongs.
for the
This
win.
might be the
Yep.
marketing move,
That's
right?
It is.
That's it.
I mean,
I love
when
a
you
good
think about
marketing
it, they're supporting the Girl Scouts, and they're here, and people are like, oh, those are my favorites. We're putting them
There you
back.
go.
We like
We
it.
like
Yep.
it. We like it.
We're, we could talk for hours, and with both of you here, I want to get to a really important point. Is a topic at this conference is really natural gas champions. What makes you, or what do you look for in a natural gas champion? It could be personal, it could be what you see in the industry. What? Give us your take on what does a natural gas champion mean to you, and we'll let you both go answer that. No right or wrong answer.
Yeah,
Unless it's
I'll
wrong.
start unless you got one.
I can start.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Well, y'all
I
fight.
think
Do it.
Wow.
Go
Me
for
first.
it. Go for it, Jordan.
I think for us being a support to the utilities, it's really about partnering with the utilities to just making sure that we're providing a safe environment, a safe community for ourselves, the infrastructure, and for all of our neighbors, our families, the communities in which we work.
See, we were just talking
Yep.
about it, right? And so where you live it, right?
Yep.
We don't just work in these places. We live there. We coach
Yeah.
baseball there.
Yeah.
We want safety for everybody, right? The whole industry does, and that theme as a champion is what really is cool to see at these types of places.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really good. Tammy, my wife, says that all the time because she works on pipelines. And whenever any question comes up in the industry, she says, "Do you want your grandkids living next to that pipeline in 50 years?"
Yeah.
And if there's ever any, and it gets right into what you folks are saying. These are our communities, and we want to make them as safe as possible.
Right?
Love it. Well, thank y'all for coming by the show.
Oh man, this is a
Absolutely.
highlight.
This is our highlight.
This is great.
If
It's
Jim
always
Jackson
nice to-
could be here, it'd be just a little bit better, Jim.
Oh, that was good.
We'll
That
get
was
Tim to
good.
the next one.
Oh, we
We
love
love
Tim.
you.
Tim, we love you,
We'll have
brother.
Tim on.
We miss
Absolutely.
you.
All right, we'll be back. We had so much fun on the last episode. Do y'all remember that?
Oh,
we
was
were
it-
live. We were in
It was
St.
green.
Louis. No,
Greenville? No, was it? You weren't here
No.
for the CPGA. Was it here in Charlotte?
nope. I can see it. We had a lit up booth, so it was either nope. It wasn't Charlotte. It was
Florida?
Columbia. Columbia.
That's
It was
what-
Columbia.
Well, I'll agree. Just to
I would say
move on to the
Columbia.
next point.
Yeah,
It
because
was either Columbia or St.
Oh
Louis.
yeah, we had great plans, and you just
Well,
gone.
my wife was in town, and I like her more than you.
I cannot believe you.
I'm just kidding. No, I mean I do like her more than you.
Does your wife listen to
This
the
is
podcast?
exactly what happened last time when you were on. We went off the rails.
We did quick.
But we laughed and we had a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
We're back at the SGA.
Southern Gas
Our buddy Chris
Association.
McCabe has come by to join us to bring us back into reality.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not.
We just went
Which
off.
reality do you want to?
Goodness.
Whatever reality. That's
This is what I show up for.
That's being the natural gas.
I've laughed harder in the last hour than I have in a really long time. Just recording, like just a minute ago, laughing with them. Man, this is why I show up.
Good.
Tell you what. Anyway, we're at SGA
We are.
live, day 2.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm
How
happy.
many times on the show? 75? Just that
Yeah,
once?
this is since what? Since I've been on the show?
Just one time?
I think
No,
there
no,
was
you've been
twice. I was interviewed a couple times, and we tried to do an
thought
actual
we cut you
podcast,
out of
and
that
I,
one.
yeah,
Did the connection ever work?
it never worked because the internet at my
yeah, that's
office
right.
were
So
in
we scrapped
no
it?
man's land. I don't think it's ever happened since.
No, we definitely.
I thought we
We
did
We
it.
recorded it live, guys. That's where
Yeah.
we did it. A
Yeah.
long one live.
That was
Oh,
in
no,
St.
in
Louis.
Columbia.
It's long. How long's long?
I promise you. I'll find it. I'll send it to you. We did a
Do
whole
it.
episode live.
Dare you? The whole,
did.
the,
I
the
think
Do you
nation's
remember
watching.
how I ended it? Because you talked about your dad. We said,
Yeah,
like,
we
what?
did.
And
We
then,
did.
like, I have it cut. I use it in my presentation. You know it's real.
St. Louis. It was St. Louis. I'm going to put money on St. Louis.
I've got it.
I
I'm
got
gonna
50
play it for
cents,
you when we get
St.
done
Louis.
and
Okay.
show it
50
to you.
cents.
I'm going to say St. Louis. What are you
Anyway,
going to say?
let's not fight here, right, on
I don't
this
know where it was.
podcast.
Everybody,
All the shows blend together. Every hotel looks the same.
That's for sure. We're back in Charlotte.
We
How's
are.
the event going for you so far?
It's good. It's good. There's it's been some good to see some current customers of mine, and then hopefully meet some new faces and all that.
Have you
sort
seen
of
new
stuff.
faces?
I have a couple.
Me too. I've seen
Yeah.
some new blood in our industry, which
I
is
think
nice.
that's exciting. And you know,
some
it's
new companies too.
well, new companies, and also too is interesting when some Kelly from Castle said that she entered our industry from another industry. So again,
No, me too.
we just have to make sure that we understand that it's not just recruiting, people out of high school or out of trade school, but also people that may be in that, that mid part of their careers that they want to change. The energy industry is very welcoming, and are always looking for a whole host of different
Yeah,
people.
absolutely.
let's get aggressive and go poach some people from some other industries because they've definitely done it to us.
They have.
Oh,
That's
I mean, I'm
very
being
true.
serious. Like, we have to get aggressive here, and that's, I think, what we're saying.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
You on that train?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a lot of gas companies deal with that in general too, because you get an operator might get paid a little bit more somewhere, but they've been trained up by a different company, and then it's a whole revolving door. Can't
Yeah.
be, so.
Absolutely. Chris, we are asking everybody a question,
Okay.
so you get it too. No charge.
Oh, thank you.
We're asking people in the spirit of SGA's event. We know they're passionate about natural gas champions. And so we're asking people, how could you be a better natural gas champion?
A better natural gas champion.
You.
Me. Well,
Chris McCabe.
first of all, I need to hook up my gas grill behind my house.
Okay.
That'd be a good one.
Man, that's a win-win.
Yeah, I get burgers and use more gas.
Why isn't it not hooked up right now?
Because we moved in our house last March.
Okay.
And the first year of home ownership just has gone by.
I heard.
Okay.
But that's a good question. I think CGS is a company we do good at what we do right now, but we're always looking to grow and expand and increase our capabilities of helping the customer, which in the end helps the end user use more gas safely and less incidents on job sites and stuff like that. So that's my goal for CGS, and I think that helps the industry as a whole. Is people just doing their best, putting what they can into it. And sometimes I don't know what that is. I just know that something needs to happen,
We'll figure it
right?
out.
And you got to start somewhere. Brainstorming. I don't know. Maybe that's
I
my
like it.
answer.
Brainstorm more.
Yeah. I hope that's not
That's a
disappointing,
non-answer.
but yeah.
Let's
Maybe I
start
should
now.
go into politics.
Yeah, no. That
Oh,
was a
Answer
very-
without. No.
that was a very PC
No,
answer.
all right. Now we just ruined it. Cut that.
No, don't
Are you
cut
going
that.
into politics?
No. I meant like I didn't give a real answer.
No,
you
you
did.
did.
Oh, okay.
No,
We knew
you
what
did.
you were getting at.
Thanks.
By proxy.
Proxy.
You're a champion
By
by proxy.
adjacent answer, you knew what I was getting at.
Yeah, we like it. Well, hey, as always, you make me laugh, and that's worth every moment. Every time I see you, it's just like the first time.
Yeah, thanks.
That smile, I'm telling you, it's a blast,
It's
man.
getting awkward now.
It's awesome.
No, it's always fun.
All right.
Let's do this again, I don't know, like in a couple months.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be on another
Will
little.
you be on the road?
Oh yeah.
I'll see you out there.
Yeah, we'll be at every show.
Hey, we'll be back.
James, as
Columbia
usual,
West.
you look in your uniform, as I am too. Then all of a sudden, we
This
get
guy shows up.
this guy shows up. I mean, there were paparazzi following him. I thought it was GQ.
Trying.
sure.
I'm trying.
Our
He
friend
said I was
Colin.
trying to stand out. Nailed it.
Trying to stand out.
Nailed it.
I find that when I go to these conferences, it's the same dress code, and no offense, but blue sports code.
It is what it is.
20 years,
So I found that
different coats.
just it attracts people in terms of even saying, "Hey, nice coat." Start
Yeah.
a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's all it is at these things. Is
It's an icebreaker.
start a conversation.
Yeah.
So I try to wear clothes that stand out.
See, he went deeper than I was even intending to about that whole thing with these conferences is being brave and asking somebody a question or breaking the ice.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So funny thing is, Colin and I did not meet a month ago. We just met, but we were at the same conference a month ago at the SGA
Technical conference.
OKC. Yeah, in OKC.
And environmental permitting. Don't
Oh,
forget
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Don't
that's a
forget,
big
they
deal.
kind of
The
tried to
environmental
sneak
permit.
that in like it wasn't.
Wasn't though?
It was called, what was it called this year? Is it technical? Is it
Wait,
just?
technical. That's what it started with.
and then it-
Technical.
Technical environmental?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wasn't somebody protecting the horny
Don't forget
toad
about
out in Utah or something like that?
no. That's
That's
the world
me.
that we're,
That's me.
that's the world he lives in.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's been 2 new recent listings in the federal side since yesterday. Yeah.
And being serious, you are a biologist by education,
I'm
right?
a wetlands and wildlife ecologist, actually. So I graduated, went to a 2-year college, Finger Lakes Community College for conservation. Went and did half a semester at Colorado State University until my financial aid fell through. Moved back to New York, continued my 4-year undergraduate work at State University of New York College of Environmental Science and Forestry, which is the longest college name in the
Wow.
United States.
What's that acronym?
SUNY ESF.
Hey, you had that on quick draw. I
Yeah.
love
Do
it.
it.
SUNY ESF. So, graduated with a wildlife science degree and have been a wildlife biologist working in the private sector since then.
Okay.
Didn't even know that my job existed when I graduated from college, by the way, which is
Sweet.
what I go back and teach now to the college students. I adjunct professor at Finger Lakes College, and I was just at a career fair actually last Thursday. So I try
That's
to give
fantastic.
back. We have eight FLCC alumni working for us currently, including 2 professors. So I try to go back to academia to realize that's where it all starts to generate hireable people with skill sets that we need, right? If we don't go to the colleges and academia and educate the professors about what we need, we're never going to get it.
Colin, we're passionate
Speaking our
about this.
language, yep.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get people into the industry more so on the gas side, but learning more about you and what you do, how we're all interconnected into this energy sector. That's very interesting that you have some of the same passions and purposes, and thank you for doing that. That's wonderful. That absolutely
that's
is
awesome.
admirable.
Yeah, I know employee retention and retainment is a hot topic for oil and
For
gas.
sure.
Generationally,
Yeah.
we know that it's dwindling, whether it's political pressures or otherwise. The generations that are looking towards those careers are kind of going elsewhere, whether it's renewables or other things, which is understandable. But I'm trying to kind of bring it all inclusive and realize that renewables don't exist without oil and gas. I'm an ecologist again, so I look full circle at things and how do we. If there's a problem here, it's because it stems from back somewhere else. So fix where the problem is, not just point at the problem.
Absolutely.
Like it.
Which is a good transition, right?
Go ahead.
So we're asking everybody, Colin, at this conference in particular, obviously with SGA's focus on natural gas champions, right? Creating that.
Yeah.
What's a way that you're a natural gas champion?
Every day, all I do is profess my passion for energy and the impacts that come from my energy use and the people around me, from flipping on the light switch to turning the thermostat up or down, to driving my vehicle, to infrastructure improvements, to everything. I always try to educate people around me, family, friends, otherwise, anybody who's willing to listen and discuss it logically, where things come from, how they get there, and the impacts it takes to do so. And for me, that's a real natural gas champion is embracing the fuel system that we all live on, that we thrive on, that is this life around us, everything in this room, everything we're wearing, the textiles, otherwise it is everywhere. And to think that electricity is going to, an energy form is not a commodity. This oil and gas infrastructure it's what creates the commodities that builds the infrastructure that we live off of. So to say in any way, shape, or form that renewable electricity is going to save the world, how? It doesn't build anything that's not a commodity, that it builds infrastructure. So for me, that's the end all be all. As an
Yeah, this is
ecologist
the
and wetland
question.
wildlife biologist, I'm a
Okay.
believer.
Yeah, he's. You know what I love about it is you're educated enough to know that portion, and then also be out there
Educating.
to understand. That 2 new species got added to the endangered list
Yeah.
yesterday, right? So that's the dynamics that we need in this industry. Love
And,
it.
and just to build one last thing, he's educating people. Whether, when he's talking about these things, that's what we need, is
Yep.
people to be educated and informed.
And I think consultants, that's what we
Look
do.
at that. We're
Look,
back to
I mean, I got it first.
it. Colin, appreciate you coming
Thank
on.
you guys.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
brother.
it.
Appreciate
We'll
you.
be right back.
We've gone now standing, folks. This is a first for the day.
I love
Oh, I
this
love
for
it.
us.
I think.
Working out.
Yes. Please.
Better to stand.
Better
That's
to
what they
stand.
say,
Yeah.
right?
Well, it's after lunch. We got to get some blood flowing. We don't want anyone to fall asleep mid-podcast.
There's treats back here
Yeah.
because people need a little bit of a sugar rush right now. They've been going to sessions all day long,
All day.
networking
We
last
need a
night.
sugar high to finish off the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To start the cocktails at 5.
Yeah. At 5 on
Allegedly.
the dot.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
12 years sober.
What are we doing now? I forgot.
The ladies are going to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about Castle,
Yeah.
and then we're going to go from
Ready
there.
for this?
Let's hear it.
Let's
It's
do it.
big.
Elevator.
Elevator
Let's
pitch.
go.
Yeah, the elevator.
No
So I
pressure.
am Kelly Nissenbaum, business development for Castle.
I am Deanna Musgrove. I'm also business development for Castle.
I'm Jim Shower.
James Cross. I run a podcast.
In case nobody knew who they were.
Yeah, there are 2 people that subscribe.
We have,
There's
we have the 4 subscribers with us. You all were on the podcast a year ago.
We tried to be.
Oh, is that what it was?
You ghosted us.
No.
Oh, no.
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 That's
I
why
will,
we're gonna have
I
this
will
conversation.
take full responsibility for it. I got the stomach flu.
Oh,
and
that's right.
we had to
Now
cancel
I remember
that day.
Perfect.
And it was here in Charlotte too,
Well,
was it? Or
it
was
was-
it Columbia?
We
No,
were.
we did it online. We set
Yeah.
it up after.
Oh, that's
It never
right.
happened.
Yes.
So it was
that's
So
it.
totally
this is us
my
making it
fault.
right.
I know.
Anyway,
Yes, right.
Hey.
So I apologize. It was all me.
No, that's, you know what?
My issue.
We got it. We
But
got
I'm
it.
healthy now a year later.
good. And look, here we are.
Here we are.
So SGA, y'all been to a lot of SGA
lot of
events.
SGA.
How's this one shaping up for you?
So far, so good. I mean, it's always good to see everybody. It feels like a little family reunion every year. So it's always good to see some familiar faces, but some new ones.
So we got a special invite last night while we're here talking about it. I know that you've been a spokesperson. Y'all were just talking about it.
Yeah.
But we got invited to a special event last night. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, the Carolina Natural Gas Coalition. We had our first, well, I guess this would be the second annual happy hour that we had, and definitely membership chair. So definitely
No big
invited you
deal.
guys. It's kind
well
of a
then
big
take
deal.
take
It's-
this moment. Just
Oh yeah,
plead to the masses
I
to
do
what you
feel
need.
like we had an outstanding turnout.
was a
It
really
was
good
a
turnout.
wonderful time. We felt like we had a bigger space this time,
was
so we
cool.
were able to.
It
was
a
still
little tight
tight.
last
Yeah.
year.
It was still
Yeah.
very busy in a great way. A lot
Yes,
of
for sure.
Oh, it was so
camaraderie,
good.
a lot of fellowship. It was really
And
good.
a really great koozies were given away.
Yes, the Castle Koozies were
Castle
a hit.
koozies
Yeah.
were a big
Oh,
hit.
I saw a few of those.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. They were longer koozies. They were kind of almost engineered.
Yeah, they were. Shout
One
out
of
to
the best
Blake.
koozies I've
Right?
ever had on a drink.
Yeah.
Really
It's
kept
like
Kept your hands
It kept
warm.
your hands warm and your beer
like a
cold.
two-
So
It
it was
was
like a
cold
win-win.
last night. It
That's
was
a
like
win-win.
30 degrees last night.
See?
We knew it was
Genius.
up.
But
Hey, we're asking everybody one question while we're here. It's SGA. We know they're passionate about natural gas champions. We're asking people, what are some things that you can do to be a better natural gas champion?
I love that question. I mean, personally, I
Hope you
think
prepped.
I'm
Yes.
ready for this.
All right, this is your moment.
But I honestly, to kind of pull it back into the coalition, but us being involved, I mean, both Deanna and myself are very heavily involved in organizations, not only supporting natural gas, but the energy industry in general. And we have really found success in the education portion of that. I came from outside the industry. I knew
Same.
nothing about it coming into it. So having two sides of the coin and understanding what people outside of the industry know, and then being now in the industry, being able to marry those two together, and then being involved in those organizations like the Coalition, the Appalachian Pipeliners Association, Women's Pipeliners Network, Southern Gas Association, all of these organizations to help put that word out. So that's personally I'd say my why.
Love it.
Wonderful. That was
So-
wonderful.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I'll
Yeah.
just follow up with what Kelly has to say too, as far as being actively involved in the coalition, sitting on the boards. Also kind of like marrying, like what Kelly says, is these newer engineers that are coming into the field and kind of like doing an intern typeship with them and kind of introducing them to folks that they may not necessarily meet anywhere else besides those types of associations. So, and definitely the events, like, you know, your fish outs, your clay shoots, your golf
That's the fun
outings. I mean,
stuff.
those
Fun
are the fun
stuff.
stuff that.
Yeah. Why we really got involved, right?
Yeah,
It's-
It was
it's-
like,
it's
oh
great
wait,
culture.
y'all do work?
Yeah.
And there's committees and boards and
Yeah.
for sure. There's plenty of room at the table, is what I
Yes,
hear.
for sure.
Yeah.
And that's great. Well, hey, it's so good seeing
Thank
y'all.
you for
Thank you so
having us.
much.
Always, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thank
Yes,
you,
Sorry
ladies.
it took so
Appreciate
long.
it.
No, we appreciate you having
we
us.
blame you.
It's always my fault, and Castle's happy to be here and always support. So.
Oh, there we go.
100%.
Man, what a
Follow the
pleasure.
ladies on LinkedIn. They
Yes.
do a lot on LinkedIn.
Amen. We'll be back.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
James,
Yes,
when,
sir.
when we are at a conference and we have the ESG guy,
That's true.
you see him kind of laugh? He went like this.
He knew.
I was waiting for
He
where that
like,
was
"What?"
going.
Oh, it is in the flesh.
Our buddy, our friend, Nicholas.
He does go by that on LinkedIn.
He
doesn't
does. It throws me all the time.
It does too,
I'm
because
like,
I want to tag him. And then
yeah, I'm like,
Laura yells at me all the time. Maybe I should switch
just
that.
fix
oh,
it.
Laura Morrow.
Shout out, friend of the show.
Should we say that one more time? Laura, the Laura
There you go.
Morrow, marketing guru.
Yeah, communications guru. But
All of it.
this isn't about her, Nick.
No, it's
How are
about
you,
Nick.
sir? Good show
Doing
so far.
well? Yeah. Absolutely.
Any sessions that you've been in?
I went to the RNG, hydrogen, and carbon capture session this morning.
Excuse me.
It's
What'd you
pretty
think?
interesting.
Did you like
I like
that?
it. I like it. Yeah, I like it's interesting hearing all the perspectives and different phases that folks are in right now.
Very cool. That's right up in your wheelhouse. We
Very
we
much
said
so.
the ESG guy because that's his handle. He's working that out. I like it. It's going to be super active. We had a TikTok training session this morning.
Did it work?
It did.
Yeah.
I created an advocate. I showed you too.
I know, but I can't pay. I mean, please.
We need Jim on TikTok, don't we?
No,
Doesn't
we
the
do
world
not.
need Jim on TikTok?
It could be interesting.
It would be
interesting.
dangerous.
It's a liability.
Yeah, it is a liability. I'll
Nick,
stick to LinkedIn.
This is not your first SGA or your first time on the show.
No.
But we are asking everybody a special question. Jimmy hinted at it earlier.
Yep.
And we want to ask you, we've been looking forward to this moment. So don't disappoint us.
No pressure.
No, what we're asking, SGA is very passionate about creating natural gas champions, right? Have you been through that program yet?
Yeah, absolutely. I sat
Yeah.
through it. I finally got to do it live yesterday. I was pretty excited.
So while I was over rolling around the ground trying to figure things out, Nick was taking pictures and jabs at me from the publication that SGA puts out that used my high school photo. Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot less gray in that.
In that spirit,
It
of
is a funny
things,
photo.
It is funny.
Where is it? Do we have
No.
that photo?
I don't think we need it.
I'll find it.
We'll
We'll get
find
it.
it. But in the spirit of creating more natural gas champions, we're asking everybody, what's something that you, Nick, can do to be a better natural gas champion?
I think the first thing is talking about it, right? Don't avoid the conversation. Talk about it,
Okay.
right? And then realize how much good we do as an industry for the environment, for society. I mean, it is it's pretty eye-opening when you think about the primary source of ammonia fertilizer is natural gas.
What would happen if natural gas was not in that formulation of fertilizer? What would happen
There'd be a lot of hungry people
in the world?
in the world. Yeah.
And is it? I mean, seriously, is it an estimate like billions of people could
I
potentially go
think
hungry?
we're talking 50% of the population numbers.
Okay.
So I don't know what the
Well,
world
most
population
people,
is.
there's a lot of countries that import, right?
Yep.
Food from countries that are more fortunate, right? And so, I mean, you think about those folks do not have any other alternative to get those.
Other than importing from like other countries like the United States.
Right.
So if our production is cut down, let's just say
Absolutely.
by X amount, that is going to have
Yeah.
long-reaching effects.
Yeah, and think about too that in this country we do it the best, we do it the cleanest, we do it the most efficient too. So if you're talking importing from other places, yes, you get volumes, but are you getting the same, I'd say,
Quality.
responsibly sourced gas like you can here? So it's an interesting concept, but I think being an advocate for the industry is huge, and an understanding too that
there's a ton of environmental benefits. I think I've even referenced this potentially before, that the social impact of what natural gas does for us as a country, us as friends, and really the world,
No doubt.
is can't be ignored and should not be ignored.
No,
I'll
it can't.
tell you what, I've spent the last hour laughing with my friends. I was just saying that. Well, on these episodes, you'll see it. But it's the truth.
You've been
and
having
you're right.
fun.
You're heavy on the social. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
That's a byproduct of it that we don't talk about. Is that we got a group of people here that are synergized and passionate for a cause. But at the end of the day, we're really good friends, and a family.
Oh, we really are. And that is the backbone of our industry, is our relationships and the trust that we have in each other. And Nick, you bring up a good point about being brave, because I think we're all speaking the language here and we all get it. And James
We're
even
also in
mentions
the
it too.
echo chamber right now too. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
We need to
which
get it
is-
out.
Which is part of the challenge. So how do we become a better champion? Start having the conversations, talk, get us comfortable, say it's awkward. It can be awkward too. That's okay. But get out there and start.
Yeah, and educate, right?
Educate
into what the realities are.
Educate yourself, and I think too, Bill did a great job with the training yesterday too. It's how you approach it as well. It's educate, know your facts, but also don't be an argument. It's not an argument.
You walk in like this, then people are going to put their dukes up too, right?
It's not necessarily either or. It can be and, right?
Yeah.
So just open-mindedness too.
I like that.
And that approach.
We could talk all day about it, but we got to get to TikTok.
You're the best. Let's do it.
Hey, we'll be right back.
See ya.